Hey everyone, welcome back to the Turing Test Podcast. This is episode 43. I'm Jamie, and today we're talking about a topic that's been buzzing around the tech world: OpenAI's internal struggles and the ever-pressing concerns about AI safety. Joining me is Rachel, who as always has some strong opinions. So Rachel, what's your take on this whole OpenAI situation?
Oh, Jamie, where do I even start? I mean, OpenAI, right? They're like the rock stars of the AI world, but with all the drama of a reality TV show. Seriously, though, it's kind of wild how much internal conflict seems to be going on there.
Yeah, it's like, on one hand, they're pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI, but on the other, there's this constant tension about how far is too far. You know, it's like they're walking a tightrope.
Exactly. And the safety concerns are no joke. I mean, we're talking about technology that could potentially change the world in ways we can't even fully grasp yet. But then you've got these internal debates about ethics and safety that just keep popping up.
Right. And it's not just OpenAI. I mean, the whole industry is grappling with these issues. But OpenAI seems to be at the forefront, and maybe that's why their struggles are so public.
Yeah, but Jamie, sometimes I wonder if they're just too ambitious for their own good. I mean, it's great to push the envelope, but at what cost? You can't just ignore the potential risks.
True. But isn't that what innovation is all about? Pushing boundaries, taking risks? I mean, look at Elon Musk. He's all about taking risks, and he's one of the most successful innovators of our time.
Oh, please don't get me started on Musk. But seriously, Jamie, there's a difference between taking calculated risks and just, throwing caution to the wind. And with AI, the stakes are just so high.
Fair point. But let's talk about the internal struggles a bit more. I mean, it's not just about safety, right? There's also this whole thing about transparency and openness. How open should OpenAI really be?
Yeah, and that's a tough one. I mean, on one hand, transparency is crucial for trust, especially with something as powerful as AI. But on the other hand, you can't just lay all your cards on the table and risk someone misusing the technology.
Exactly. It's a delicate balance. And speaking of balance, there's also the issue of who gets to decide what's safe and what's not. I mean, should it be the developers, the government, or some independent body?
That's $1 million question, Jamie, and honestly, I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all answer, but I do think there needs to be more collaboration between these entities. It's too big of an issue for any one group to handle alone.
Totally agree. And by the way, so before we continue, just a quick shout out to Augmented AI, the producer of the Turing Test Podcast. Augmented AI hosts a variety of cutting-edge courses in generative AI, large language models, edge AI, robotics, and computer vision. You can get a free generative AI course at bit.ly/Turing Test Podcast or go to www.augmentedstartups.com.
Nice plug, Jamie. But seriously, folks, check it out. It's a great resource.
Thanks, Rachel. So back to the topic. Do you think OpenAI's internal struggles are a sign of bigger issues in the AI industry?
Oh, definitely. I mean, they're kind of like the canary in the coal mine, If they're having these issues, you can bet other companies are too. It's just that OpenAI is more in the spotlight.
Yeah, and maybe that's a good thing. I mean, it forces the industry to confront these issues head on instead of sweeping them under the rug.
True, but it also puts a lot of pressure on OpenAI. I mean, they're expected to be the leaders, the ones setting the example, and that's a lot to live up to.
Absolutely. And speaking of pressure, there's also the whole competition aspect. I mean, with companies like Google and Facebook also in the AI race, there's this constant push to be the first, the best.
Yeah. And that can lead to cutting corners, which is the last thing we need with AI. It's not just about being first, it's about being responsible.
Right? And that's where the whole safety concern comes in again. It's how do you innovate responsibly? How do you ensure that what you're creating isn't going to backfire?
Exactly. And that's why these internal debates are so important. They might seem messy, but they're necessary. It's better to have these discussions now than to deal with the consequences later.
Agreed. But do you think there's a risk of over-regulation? I mean, if we clamp down too hard, we might stifle innovation.
That's a valid concern, Jamie, but I think it's about finding the right balance. We need regulations, but they should be flexible enough to adapt as the technology evolves.
Yeah, and maybe that's where international cooperation comes in. I mean, AI is a global issue, so maybe we need global solutions.
Definitely. It's not something any one country can handle alone. We need to work together, share knowledge, and learn from each other's mistakes.
Well said, Rachel. And as we wrap up, any final thoughts on OpenAI and the future of AI safety?
Just that it's an exciting time, but also a critical one. We have the opportunity to shape the future, but we need to do it responsibly. And that means having these tough conversations, even if they're uncomfortable.
Couldn't agree more. And lastly, don't forget to check out Augmented AI University to upgrade your skills and become an AI expert fast. Go to bit.ly/Turing Test Podcast to enroll in your free cutting-edge AI course at augmentedstartups.com. See you next time.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Stay curious and stay safe.